Well, this one should be interesting, folks. Hey there, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And for those of you Mainers who are watching, I know it's a good percentage of you, we've got Fred's Pumpkinhead Spirit. Now, you take a look at that and tell me if it looks familiar. Now, we've got this really popular seasonal beer here in Maine, folks. It's called Pumpkinhead from Shipyard Brewing. And of course, it's a pumpkin beer, and it's pretty damn good. But this year, they've put out a 70 proof, 35% ABV, Fred's Pumpkinhead Spirit. It's a bourbon whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color and spirits distilled from grain and hops with natural flavor added. So it's a bourbon whiskey with this natural flavor. I'm about to repeat this, but there's a couple of points here I want to pick up on. Bourbon whiskey. I'm a big fan of whiskey, especially bourbons. Natural flavors, meaning probably the flavors of the whiskey, and caramel color. So we've added some coloring and probably get some sweetness out of the caramel color. And spirits distilled from grain. Most spirits are distilled from grain, so that's a little non-specific, but who knows. From grain and hops. So a spirit distilled from hops. So we've got some concentrated hop juice in here as well, with natural flavor added. So, handmade. It's got the Pumpkinhead logo from the Pumpkinhead beer. Historically, craftsmen in Maine have built the commander... Sorry, the lighting here is awful. Have built the commander ships that traveled the globe with a spirit of determination, adventure, and ingenuity. With that same heritage and tradition of hard work and innovation, Shipyard Brewing Company once again is pioneering our industry with the introduction of Fred's Pumpkinhead Spirit. Our name honors Shipyard founder Fred Borsley. It says renowned industry leader. I think it's supposed to say renowned. They cut off the ED. Industry leader. The distinguished notes of Fred's whiskey. So must be a recipe he pioneered. Are crafted through our own signature process of blending our whiskey with the finest bourbons and flavors in this great country. Okay, so a little bit of history of this beverage and of the company, but it doesn't tell me much about what's actually in it. I'm interested about this distilled from grain and hops spirits, so we'll see. But I love the bottle. It's a synthetic cork, but who cares? Between the synthetic cork and the bottle itself, it's very reminiscent of what they have the, I think, Strudwater puts their bourbons in. So I wonder where the bourbons came from. Hopefully it is a local Maine bourbon. It's got an interesting aroma. That seems like enough for now. It's a bit cloudy, and it's a lighter color in the glass than it is in the bottle. It thins out a bit. Of course, this is, that's not quite as much of a volume there, so of course it's going to thin out a bit, but it is slightly cloudy. Actually looks a lot more like Pumpkinhead beer than it does in this bottle. I mean, I'm definitely getting hints of bourbon, and maybe a bit of pumpkin, but I'm telling you that whatever this this spirit distilled from hops, I must be picking up on that. Because there is some really interesting aroma. It's like this citrusy, piney combo. Now, I'm more keyed to citrus and pine when it comes to hops than any of the other esters that they put off, but this is like this weird citrus pine combo. It's like I'm getting both at once instead of two distinct aromas, and it almost lends itself to a chemical tang, but it's not. It smells more natural. It's on the cusp of being chemical and natural, if that makes any sense. It's not unpleasant. It's very, very pleasant. I want to be clear on that. But then there's like a bit of a sweetness and definitely a distinct bourbon aroma. So I love the smell of this stuff. Wow. That is pretty interesting. It's distinctly bourbon. It's got some sweetness to it, like almost a brown sugar sweetness. And a big punch of pumpkin. So, up front is a bourbon, a pretty boozy bourbon. Then this sweetness, this brown sugar sweetness kicks in, and you get a nice big mouthful of pumpkin after that. The liquor itself's got a pretty decent body to it. And then it fades to a nice combo that's like pumpkin pie. But overarching the whole thing, throughout the entire experience that I just described, you're also getting hints of citrus and pine, but it's like that flavor is layered above the main flavors that you're getting, and you notice it, but it doesn't overwhelm them. It's almost like this dual flavor experience. Like you're getting the pumpkin pie experience in those different stages, but you're also experiencing in the back of your mind, on the back of your taste buds, simultaneously the citrus and pine combo with this. It's bordering on this chemical tang, but it's not quite there. It reminds me of something that I can't quite place, but there's this citrus and pine combo, and it's just kind of hovering there. And if you think about it, you notice it more, but you're primarily engaged in this pumpkin pie experience with this overarching two hop esters perfectly combined. It's unique. I have never had anything quite like this. I would say it's similar to the I had a Glenfiddich experimental series that was aged in IPA barrels. So it was a Scotch whiskey that was finished in IPA barrels, and it was this really nice complex Glenfiddich that had overarching hop esters that were subtly there. That's the closest thing I can compare this to, but this is both flavor experiences at once, and you have to concentrate on one or the other to pick it out. But once you do, you're fully engaged in that flavor experience, but then with the very next sip, you can engage in that other flavor experience. So this is amazing. Again, it's very unique in my experience. I've never had anything like this before. I think it's fucking awesome. I don't remember what the price point was on this. I believe it was like $30 a bottle, and it is a spectacular investment at that price. Go get one, and next year when it comes out again, get another. Yeah, I really just, I can't fully describe it. Words can't do this thing justice. I tried, but you got to try it for yourself. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. You might agree, you might disagree. You should at least give it a try for the unique flavor experience, and then tell me what you think. Hit me up down in the comments and the email link down below. I want to know what you got out of this, if it was similar to my experience, if it was completely different, Either way, it's an interesting beverage to talk about. I will be talking about this for days to come, and I want to hear from you about it too, because I think it's fully unique and so different that you're going to be blown away as well. While you're down there, let me know what you think about the drink. Make sure to hit me up in the email link or the comments as well with that info. But also, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Till next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.